Aloha, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sports People Hawaii. I'm Rhgc. Coming your way in the next 30 minutes, you're going to meet one of the University of Hawaii Athletic Department's new fan favorites. See how a former major leaguer has gone full circle back to his high school alma mater. And we hit the gridiron with some of Hawaii's future stars. But first, one of the great things about golf courses is the fact they're all so different. And this particular course on the windward side of Oahu is in a category all of its own, thanks to its tremendous sense of place, history, and culture. When it comes to spectacular settings, few, if any, golf courses on the planet can match what the Royal Hawaiian Golf Club in Maunawili Valley offers.
Every morning when we get here, we just feel so honored to be able to be out here. I mean, when we look behind me, the Ko'olau mountain range just has this majestic feel to it.
Nestled between the Ko'olaus and Mount Olomana on Oahu's windward side, Royal Hawaiian is often referred to as the Jurassic Park of golf courses because there are so few signs of civilization there today. However, it once was a haven for some of the earliest Hawaiian civilizations, particularly Hawaii's ali'i, or royalty.
And this was a very sacred place for our ali'i, and you know, you can feel it when you move around here late at night. You know, you have that eerie but really safe feeling about being here. And if you look back in ancient times, this was the breadbasket for the Hawaiian people, for the moku of Oahu. And, you know, our dream is to bring that back and to get people to see what this valley really can produce.
This was actually right here. This used to be the old government road too. So this actually was the only road that joined Waimanalo to town.
Darren Sumimoto is Director of Operations for the Royal Hawaiian Golf Club, an opportunity that has brought him full circle. As a young boy growing up in Kailua, this valley is where he would come with his family and friends to hunt, fish, and to play, much like those who came hundreds of years before him.
So way back in the ancient days, I'm talking like pre-1700s, this would have housed a pretty large ancient civilization. The word, in fact, the location, Kailua, means twin seas. At one time, they believed that this could have all been ocean coming up to here, so it would have been the perfect place.
Historians say this area encompasses 3 layers of history: ancient Hawaiian, the overthrow of the monarchy, and during the war, where it served as a military training ground. Today, many signs of ancient Hawaii remain.
This area here, what we found out is that the water that comes through here, we've traced this back all the way up in the mountains where actually it literally comes right out of a hole in the mountain. So this stream never dries out. Even during our longest drought periods, it's always flowing like this. We know that there was plantings here. On this flat part here, where the razor grass is, we actually found the borders, or the stone borders, where the aloi would have been, right in this flat area here. And then the stream goes back this way, and then there's more plantings going up higher and higher. So the closer to the source of the mountain where the water comes right out of would have been for ali'i only.
Much of what grows in this valley predated the first arrivals here, but the plant life fast became part of the fabric of everyday life.
Wherever you see tea leaf trails like this would have been significant in the ancient days, because this is what tea leaf would have marked the ali'i trail, where the ali'i would have come, possibly where their food source would have been, things like that. So this was all not planted by us. This was here when we took over.
According to ancient writings, tea leaf was also used for ceremonial purposes as well as cleansing, even medicinal purposes.
So this would have been your ancient Hawaiian Band-Aid, because it's totally pure and untouched by the air on the inside. So if you had a cut, scrape, things like that, you would have covered it like that and sealed it.
Other hidden treasures on this property include the old Irwin House. It belonged to a well-connected family of cattle ranchers who frequently entertained Hawaii's last reigning monarch.
And they were friends of Queen Iliduokalani, so she used to come here and spend summers with them. When it was hot in Waikiki, she'd come here and spend time on the windward side where it's about 5 to 7 degrees cooler in the summer months. This tree right here, this banyan tree, it's said that this is where she actually wrote the song Aloha Oi, at the foot of this tree. That's the significance of this area here.
Mark Twain once described golf as a good walk spoiled, but to walk these hallowed grounds is to walk in the footsteps of royalty.
I mean, it's spiritual. It's spiritual. I mean, you know, you just get that feeling, that quiet, playing here in the afternoons, early mornings. I mean, you can almost hear your name being called sometimes, you know. You hear the birds, and every now and then you see the occasional pig and mongoose and things like that. So it's really spiritual. It's not only about golf.
And that brings us back to the present and the future of this lush valley.
We feel we have a responsibility to protect, preserve, and really educate people about what old Hawaii was all about, and how they really mastered, you know, the environment. And we want to bring some of that back and really honor that.
Plans are already drawn to restore many of the ancient Hawaiian planting areas that once made up this magnificent piece of land.
We look at this as being much more than just the game of golf. It's about playing a role in our community. It's about driving economic development into this state. It's about educating our visitors about our host culture and taking those messages throughout the world. And we feel that we have a responsibility to bring some of that back. If we have a water feature, why can't it be something that produces something that we can educate and consume? And you know, we're going to start incorporating some of those activities and features within the course today to not only be something that attracts the eye, but also produces something that we can eat. It just makes sense to us, and that excites us.
Royal Hawaiian's owner, Pacific Links Hawaii, recently established its own foundation, primary core missions to preserve the beautiful place, the land, the water, and the culture, and ultimately to educate the next generation. This is a pretty cool place to start. And when Sports People Hawaii continues, a guy who has gone from the bigs back to his old school. But first, another tip to help you get fit quick.